What I'd like to talk about is the issue of why workplace education, and then talk a little bit about the response that professional developers need to make. The change in the classroom is being driven by legislation. It's being driven by our social need for a more highly educated workforce. And what it's meant to teachers is a shift from teaching academic content to teaching content in the context of the workplace, teaching reading in the context of the workplace, math, writing skills. And that's meant a philosophical shift that some teachers have had trouble making because they feel like they're selling out. They feel like they're no longer able to teach the whole person, that they have to teach a student the skills that person needs just to get a job. And so there's a philosophical change that has to occur. And one of the things that I think that has helped teachers make that shift is seeing workplace skills in a larger framework. A good example is Equip for the Future. Because as teachers start to use Equip for the Future, they realize that developing skills for the workplace is just part of a bigger framework. Also, that the same skills that workers need are the same skills that a parent needs, or the same skills that a good community member needs. So I think that's the kind of curriculum, kind of framework that we as professional developers need to provide to teachers so that they can make the philosophical shifts that they need in order to be effective teachers in this new arena of workplace education.
We're trying to look at workplace literacy in Connecticut as a sort of, because workplace literacy, the problem or the issue at hand is that students are not just the ones who come to adult education programs. I mean, there are students everywhere. So you've got students in adult education programs, who come there. And then there are students who are working who don't have time to come. And they have same sorts of needs as, those who come to your program. So I think the issue of workplace literacy is not just about the teaching aspect of it. The easiest thing is to teach a workplace literacy class. I think the hardest thing is to establish a connection, or the harder things are to establish a connection with an employer, to get in touch with employees, to find out what the real needs are, trying to customize a curriculum that meets the needs of all the parties involved, deciding how you're going to market a program, deciding how you're going to structure the workplace literacy program as part of your adult education program. Many times workplace literacy programs don't have, or adult education programs don't really have staff to support workplace literacy. They might have 3 teachers, 5 teachers, even 10 teachers, but they don't have anybody to devote to workplace literacy. And then a company calls, and there's nobody to answer the phone call. And I believe that adult education is best suited to meet the needs of students who need the services, but oftentimes that's not the case. There are private contractors. There are other folks who end up serving the need, and adult ed sometimes doesn't, get involved in that arena. So I think there's a lot that adult education can do in workplace literacy, and it's something that we really need to put emphasis on. In Connecticut, we do a 3-day training that is modeled. It really takes people through the process of developing a workplace literacy program. We don't actually, we use a real company as a sort of work site, to go to the work site, collect materials, evaluate the materials, then develop curriculum. But it's not like it's a real example in the sense that it's not a real, the company doesn't have real needs, but we use a real company to as an example to do the training. And over 3 days, they learn about how to conduct literacy audits, needs assessments, and we walk them through the whole process, including introducing them to many of the business terminologies, ISO 9000, QS 9000, and educators don't know what those things mean, but those are probably the more important reasons why education is even called into business. So it's really, and we as educators need to get more savvy about all these things as to why is business even calling us. Sometimes there's a hidden agenda that you don't find out until you've been doing classes for 3 months, and then by then it's too late. We've already shot ourselves in the foot. So we've got to be really careful about what sort of agreements we get into with companies, but it's again something that I really believe adult education can make a significant impact in. But we need to be well educated and better prepared for doing this.